noticed this really interesting pattern, and that is that CEOs who start on this journey of organizational transformation think about it very much in those terms. It is an organizational transformation, something that happens to the organization. And yet, when you speak with CEOs who are 1, 2, 3 years down the line, they consistently say that it's been an amazing personal journey, really a journey of personal growth, that it's been probably as much of a personal journey as it has been an organizational journey. And that they're really glad about it. They've grown in amazing ways, but it has not always been easy, right? They've bumped into some of their own limits, their limiting beliefs, some of their own shadows. And these are consistent invitations to grow, right? So they set out and say, hey, I really want us to have much more trust in our teams, and then they suddenly find that there are moments where they can't, where they just calm down and want control. Or they want to have a culture that is much more transparent, much more real. And then they find themselves discussing things behind closed doors, or writing, sort of a vague political statement to the workforce. And, people will tell them, hey, that's not, the way we had said that we would work. And so really this journey is a journey to grow into a new posture. And it's a joyful journey, and sometimes it's a difficult journey. But if you think that it's really only an organizational journey, and if you're not willing to be changed in the process, then I would really invite you to not even start. Right? Let me repeat that. Right? So if you think this is only a journey that you're going to do onto the organization, and you don't see it also as a wonderful opportunity to grow, then don't get started. There's a wonderful coach in France who's become a friend and who is working with a number of large organizations who are doing these transformations. And he will really have conversations with the CEO and will really tell them after a conversation if he feels that they're ready or not. And very often he says, you know what? Maybe just you and I, keep talking and preparing, you for this thing for 6 months or a year before you even start moving things in your organization, so that you're really ready. Because the truth is that you're as much the engine of that transformation, as you're the one that will hold it back, right? And so the organizational transformation cannot go further than what you're willing to transform in yourself. And I really have come to see this as an adventure of a lifetime that CEOs are stepping into. It's really a life project that will transform you, make you into a bigger person, into a richer person. And there's no doubt that when I speak with CEOs who've been on that journey, they all say how extraordinarily glad they are that they took that journey. And so if you're willing to be changed by the process, if you're willing to accept life's invitation in that journey, I can almost promise you that you'll experience some of the things that these other CEOs have experienced. And that is that their relationships have become so much richer, that they feel more at ease with themselves, that they, their fears, often fears that they weren't even conscious about, seem to have vanished to a large degree. They find themselves with way more time on their hands. They often find themselves way more joyful. And clearly they tell me that, when they look back at who they were just 2 or 3 years before, it feels like that was a smaller version that they wouldn't like to get back to. So the question I have for you is, are you willing to contemplate that this will be as much a personal as an organizational journey? Are you willing to accept all of the invitation that life will give you along that path? Are you ready to say yes to it? And my invitation would be to have somebody you work with all along that way. Call it a coach or a friend or somebody who, when you bump into your shadows, you can talk things through with. Somebody who will hold up a mirror, somebody who will not be afraid to tell you when you're shooting yourself in the foot. And the other advice I've given to some of these CEOs is find 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the organization that you trust and ask them, give them sort of the specific mandate to say, please let me know when I screw up, right? Please let me know when I fall short of my own ideals. So people who aren't afraid to tell you, hey, what you just did, what you just said in that meeting, that email that you just sent out, that is the old you, right? That's not the style that you wanted, and I just wanted to let you know. I think it's super important to have those people. And what you then can do is very easy. Simply say, oh, you're right, thank you, right? And then say to other people, hey, I fell back into the old me, and I'm sorry for that, and I guess it will happen again, but I hope it won't happen too often. And by doing that, you will be role modeling wholeness in an extraordinary way. You'll be role modeling stuff that will happen to all the other people in the organization, right? Because everybody is going through that sort of journey, right? We're all leaving behind ways we've grown up from childhood, relationships we had with our parents, with teachers, with former bosses. We're all growing out of that and into something new. And if you role model that, very often you get it right, and sometimes you get it wrong, and that you work on yourself, and that there are triumphs and pitfalls along the way, you will make it so much easier for other people to acknowledge the same thing. And I guess that people around you will just love to see you grow into a richer, fuller person. And that is the journey ahead, if you're willing to take it.